First touch, and it's Prahran that get the ball out of the middle, but there's Cullen taking the mark from the Joe Ahmed kick. Ahmed was named on interchange in the teams that were given to us, so both teams have made some last-minute positional changes. Half-forward flank, the mark taken by Lennox. Simon Lennox, Deputy Vice-Captain, going in short. Povey, no, over his head. It was Kylie, in fact. Here's Tom Kuipert, looking to square the kick, and that was a good one. Sinny got a kind bounce. Well intercepted, Michael McMaster. But Prahran there in numbers to force the turnover. Lennox, quick hands onto Kuipert. Nowhere to go. This is really tight. Terrific start. Good break of the tackle there. Mark, yes, for Stanley against his old team. Darren Stanley, well, he'd be really pumped up, I'm sure, for this game. Started out the season with Werribee, made the changeover about 6 or 7 weeks ago, and can kick the first goal of the afternoon. Good play in the middle from David Clark that led to Stanley taking a finger tipper only 25 metres out. He allowed too much for the wind. Oh, bad miss.
Especially kicking again, and this is a fine kick to the centering kick to the hands of Carl Delina, and Delina's been very prominent, in particular around goals, where he does the majority of his damaging work, and he in fact scored 2 for the term. Scott Parsons, the full forward, also registered 2, and they had 4 in fact on the board, Phil, before Werribee even looked like being in the hunt.
Yes, and that forward line of Werribee's was a bit of a problem. They weren't using the ball well, they weren't settled, and they started to get a bit panicky and fumbly. But then they started to get it together, which is a sign of a good side. McDonald there had gone back to centre half forward, started to use his bulk around the forward line. Tim Rennett's on the wing came into play.
Fine pass from Delena to Parsons, and it's an exciting prospect, isn't he, at full forward? Probably lacks the inches, but what he lacks there he makes up with his strength and pace.
He's a classic case of that player. He's just a couple of inches short, but has to make up by being very mobile, having strong hands, and he's a good kick.
I thought Werribee really squandered a lot of opportunities with their delivery into the forward line, Philip.
Could have kicked another 3, Sam, no doubt about it, in that last 15 minutes.
And Aziz subject to a lot of pressure. They obviously targeted him as a danger player.
Well, it was always the case, Sam, when we were playing Williamstown and Aziz was a key player, you really had to put the screws on him, because once he got his confidence up, he could take you to pieces.
O'Keefe, I see, removed from the field midway through the term, and I think he's one of the players which have been instrumental in, you know, Werribee's lofty status at the moment, since forcing his way to the side midway through the first round.
He dropped a sitter mark.
Yeah.
He kicked a goal straight away, but was taken straight off. The wind didn't seem to suit him at all. But Aziz got the last goal from that game out of Dandenong. Now it's last week, round 15, Andrew Button's mark, mark 1. Weren't a lot of top marks taken in this game. Jason Watts took a very brave one. Was out positioned initially, floated across the front of the pack with good judgment and balance. Now Jack Aziz at full tilt, and he doesn't let those slip out. Now the goals. Goal A, Chris Garrett from Sandringham, classic Rovers goal, this one. Like lightning onto it, and deadly finishing on the left boot. Now this is one, I think perhaps we put it in for nostalgia's sake. Back in Doug Wade's day, this wouldn't have even had people batting an eyelid. But Don McDonald ends up with a free kick here, much to Mitchelson's chagrin, and then unloads with a torpedo that was straight as an arrow. Now Richard Geary for Werribee, goal C. He's very deadly. Maybe we'll see some of that in the last quarter of last half of this game from him. So
that was in my infancy, I might add. You know, it was in my developmental years.
And unfortunately, he's never got past them.
Both scholastically and anatomically, I might
add. Let's leave that one alone. It's highlights of the second quarter here, and Prahran. Sam, you think that they really should have this game won by now?
I do.
Perhaps they should have done it in this section of play.
Yes, I'm quite adamant that the scoreboard's flat as Werribee at this point in time. I just believe Prahran have been the better side. They've been harder at the ball, they've been quicker, they've made fewer mistakes, and they've adapted to the conditions a lot better. And this guy on screen's been terrific today, Brian Winton, and he's had a lot of friends, of course, and of course they've had a focal attack, a point of attack in the form of this guy, Scott Parsons. Been fantastic. Whether it's his aerial work or his ground work, he's always working hard and he always creates opportunities. And Stanley, on that occasion, he's been a wonderful acquisition since crossing from Werribee, I might add. But
seem fairly content on the Two Blues bench.
Yes, you couldn't see them losing with this lead, given the time, into time on by about 2 minutes.
3 goals is the lead. Had 2 less scoring shots Prahran and have the winning lead, one would think. Cicluna. Oh, missed Kuiper first time. Out to Richard Chapel with a shovel. Parsons, but McDonald, that was a brave mark. Parsons was coming like a steam train. Back into it, the captain coach. Connell's kick. They've gone across this half-back line 4 or 5 times in the last quarter. This time they managed to keep possession anyway. Cullen. Origlasso's been supreme.
been terrific, John Origlasso, all day. He's just
coming in from the grandstand side this time, and Button's marked it for Werribee.
Quickly, keep coming back on the
Watch the shot!
Back quick.
Watch the shot!
Got back just in time, I think. Any crummers this time for Werribee. Straight through Reynoldson's hands. Cicluna gratefully out to Origlasso. Blind old kick that it found Cini. Delina. Parsons is led. McDonald again. No, it was Lesaputty in the way. Connell. Off the side of the foot. Finds Sol Talamakia. McDonald was calling for it. Got ignored. Down ground, is it? Zerk Gensters is, and that tells the story of his day right on the final siren. And I think Robert Bolson's going to have a ping-it goal. If they can find the ball. The back pocket to put the icing on the cake for Prahran, and personally on a very good day. If the kids don't get in his way.
There's plenty on the mark.
One of the trainers is shepherding. Nice kick. Well, that's the story of Prahran's day in a nutshell. Apart from a period of about 10 minutes in the third quarter, it was all two Blues, and they've won by 4 goals to join Werribee now on 44 points. Just 4 losses this season, and twice they've beaten Werribee now. And that's a good psychological advantage, because conceivably they could meet in the finals. Now Werribee will have to work hard if they're to get the double chance. 3 teams on 44, 2 behind Port Melbourne, but Brian Taylor must be very happy with the performance of his side today, who could have folded under the onslaught there when Werribee kicked 4 in a row in the last 10 minutes of the third quarter. But they got the lead back with the breeze and went away to a convincing win. Ross Booth.
Thank you, Peter. And with me, the man of the match, John Origlasso, is Acting Superintendent Ian Sutton with the V.F.A Tankard. Ian.
Thank you very much. John, congratulations.
Thanks very much.
On behalf of V.F.A and the Victoria Police, congratulations to you and your team and man of the match.
Thank you very much.
Set that. Excellent game to watch.
Thank you.
Sure was. And there's the key to the Mazda, John.
Thanks,
I hope you can fit into it.
Yeah.
Well, you seem to be all over the ground today. Where did you play?
Yeah, Brian Winton playing with Donald McDonald, so I really basically had to go wherever Donald wasn't. So
he was all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So I was everywhere else. So yeah, it was great to have a win like that.
How worried were you personally late in that third quarter and at three-quarter time?
Obviously, our goal after half-time was to hold them in that third quarter when they had the win, and really only let them off the hook the last 10 minutes. So I felt confident that coming home with the win, we could put them away.
Yes, okay. And you've been a bit of a travelling footballer, South Launceston before that.
Yes, down in Tassie last year. It was a bit cold today, so it's very similar to the conditions down in Tasmania, so I was used to those.
Okay, and you're an old amateur boy, Marsland.
Yeah, back at Marsland,
yeah.
yeah.
So say hello to Sam and Phil, won't you?
Yeah, Sam. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Phil. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, John Oraglass.
He's always got to get that ammo bit in, doesn't he?
But, gee, the first touch on the ball is important, isn't it? And right from the first... Well,
the competition, they look pretty dangerous.
But Philip, the other plus is, apart from the fact that they're the stoppers, they're also very capable players of getting possession themselves. Yep. And, no, they've got a lot going for them, Prahran, if they... well, they're certainly going to be in there.
Got this guy around goals.
Stanley. Well, they worked very hard. You know, they did the post-mortem after the first 6 or 7 weeks and realised they lacked a bit of spark in the engine room. And when Stanley became available, they really did try and... They moved heaven and earth to secure his services. And, you know, that's where they really destroyed them. Billy Cracker here, you know, I thought Billy was instrumental in the Werribee revival midway through that third term, got them going, and kicked 2 or 3 telling goals. But all in all, I just felt Prahran really had it when they were tested. They...
Snap off target, out of bounds or behind. It's out of bounds on the full.